Welcome to Channel Today in History. In today's video we will talk about the day, September 13, 1993, Oslo Accords. Palestinians claim the right to return to the homes they were forced to abandon because of the 1948 and 1967 wars, which originated in antagonistic claims over the land of Palestine. By 1947, the UN General Assembly had divided Palestine into two independent states, one Arab and one Jewish, with a special international regime for Jerusalem. Since 1993, the year of the Declaration of Principles on a Provisional Autonomous Palestinian Government, also known as the Oslo Accords, the possibility of peacefully resolving the conflict between Israelis and Palestinians has been envisioned. Between 7 million and 8 million Palestinians live in regions of Palestine administered by the Palestinian Authority, or are refugees in nearby lands. Others are found throughout the Middle East, Latin America, Europe, and the United States. About half are refugees registered with the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees in the Near East, OOPS, who live in the Gaza Strip, the West Bank and East Jerusalem, as well as in Jordan, Syria, and the Lebanon. More than 1 million refugees still live in camps that were created 50 years ago. The international community has shown deep concern for the living conditions and human rights of the Palestinian people living under occupation, especially in the years of the Intifada, or Palestinian Uprising, 1987 to 1993, which focused attention on their plight and the need for an urgent solution. For many years the issue was treated primarily as a refugee problem, but in the early 1970s Palestinian nationalism highlighted the political aspects. In their resolutions 242 and 338, the General Assembly and the UN Security Council established the principles for a just and lasting peace, deciding that negotiations should be started. In 1974, the General Assembly recognized the Palestine Liberation Organization as a representative of the Palestinian people, granting it observer status, and in 1975 it decided to create a committee to recommend a program for the Palestinian people to exercise their rights to return home and to live their own free will. The end of the Cold War and the Gulf War and its aftermath had an impact on the situation in the Middle East. The negotiation process between Arabs and Israelis was seriously restarted in October 1991, with the realization of the Madrid Conference, an attempt to start a new peace process that could put an end to the conflict, under the dual presidency of the United States and the Soviet Union, although by mid-1993 talks appeared to have stalled. At the same time, Israel and the PLO held secret talks in Norway at the end of August 1993, making public the news that they had reached an agreement. On September 10, 1993, Israel and the PLO exchanged letters of mutual recognition, and on September 13, at a ceremony held at the White House in Washington, in the presence of Bill Clinton, President of the United States, and Andrei V. Kozyrev, Russian Foreign Minister, the representatives of Israel and Palestine signed the Declaration of Principles on an Autonomous Palestinian Interim Government. Then Yitzhak Rabin, Israeli Prime Minister, and Yasser Arafat, President of the PLO, shook hands. The historic agreement paved the way for the establishment of an autonomous Palestinian government in the Gaza Strip and the West Bank and marked the beginning of a process that was to culminate in the negotiation of a solution to the permanent status issues. Did you know? First, the UN General Assembly expressed its support for the Declaration of Principles in the resolution Peaceful Agreement on the Question of Palestine.